In the spring of 1862, a freshly ordained young pastor named Joseph H. Gilmore was supplying the pulpit for First Baptist Church of Philadelphia. It was during the first year of the American Civil War and a dark time across the country. During a midweek prayer service, Gilmore shared an exposition of Psalm 23, one which he had shared before. During this sermon, however, he couldn't get past the second verse, which in the King James Version reads, "He leadeth me beside the still waters." The conversation continued from the prayer meeting into the house of a deacon in the church. As they discussed the idea of God's divine leadership and comfort, Gilmore penciled the words as a poem on the back of his sermon notes, handed the page to his wife, and never gave it a second thought. A few years later, in the spring of 1865, he was set to preach a trial sermon in Rochester, New York. Before preaching his sermon, he picked up a hymnal to see what sort of hymns that church sang, and to his amazement, found his own words looking back at him. The very poem that he had written years before had found its way into this published hymnal, with the tune composed by the famous William Bradbury, no less. Gilmore went home and shared the astonishing find with his wife, wondering by what circumstance his words had been published. His wife offered the answer. She had found the words to be so impactful that she submitted them anonymously to the Boston magazine Watchman and Reflector, and they had published it the following year. The hymn caught the eye of composer William Bradbury, and he added a couple of lines and shifted the song into the verse-refrain structure it bears today. Gilmore took the hymn's publication and appearance in the church as a sign that he should pastor that church, and did so for 2 years before becoming a professor full-time. He was a prolific writer and published many articles in magazines and wrote other hymns, though it is this hymn, "He Leadeth Me," that he is best known for.